Two ugly men, two hearts of love, two muddled minds, two coffee cups, mugs.
Episode 8. We got Thursday Night Football on. We're going fast here. Lightning round.
We want to. Oh yeah, okay. Scoreboard no more.
Scoreboard no more. We got a duel out.
Dead.
Yeah, well, we got a duel out
on
the desert of Phoenix, somewhat.
No, it's in Louisville or Cowtown.
Sorry. This is fantasy.
The American Heartland.
American Heartland versus
Put
the
your
heart
money
of
where your
Texas.
mouth is.
Put your money where
Now,
your mouth is.
Casey, he made a promise that he would be leading the division. That was a guarantee. Cash that check.
He didn't
This was week
guarantee
1.
it, though.
And he didn't guarantee it, but it was close to certain. And based on his track history, I was buying it. And he said when he played the Lulu Birds, he would bench. What was it here? It wasn't his whole team. He would bench whoever. It was very specific. So it wasn't like totally talking out of his nalgas. It was very specific. He said, I will sit all starters for the same positions that Beth has out on bye. And he probably looked and saw that Beth had Le'Veon on bye. So anyway, it seemed like a earnest promise.
I say he's almost last in the division. You might as well just do it, just to keep your integrity. You know.
I would say when you're that specific, if you're that specific with a bet, you kind of have to maybe do it. He said, if I'm not in first place, these players are on a bye, then I'll bench the players on my team. Be hard to do even if you wanted to. I give it a score. It's just interesting. It was a much needed material for the league. I would encourage more teams to do it. Who do you give the score to?
I don't want teams tanking.
That brings us to our next point. That brings us to our next point, which is we're going to come back to this later, but Anthony's trade with Tokyo, which just came through, I don't know, a couple minutes ago.
You have good lighting, by the way.
Thank you, sir. Mm-hmm. What do you think of this blockbuster? Tommy finally got Antonio Brown in a trade. This has been a 5-year project for him, seemingly for very little in return. You got Rob Kelly, recently a guy from the Guys on Buffs. You got T.Y. Hilton. T.Y. Hilton and Antonio Brown's.
I give the upper hand to Tommy.
Oh, yeah. I think Anthony might be tanking. That's what when you mentioned tanking, I thought of this trade. And I should know because I'm playing Tommy. So if this had been a fair trade or Anthony had gotten the advantage, I would be happy. I'm not happy at all with this trade. So I think Tommy clearly won the day.
It definitely makes the American Conference that much weaker, certainly.
Well, and Anthony made a trade where I think so far it looks like you may have had an upper hand in that trade. And then he also... What are the other trades he's made? I think most of the trades that he's made have gone the other team's way.
Yeah, not a good year for the Ants overall.
That's my feeling on it.
Whether that's
the Terrell Pryor acquisition was the other trade.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's had one good game.
And we made a genius draft pick trade. But in a way, he gave up Le'Veon and drafted Dalvin Cook when you look at the end result. So I don't know why. Why did you make that? I think Anthony wants to take down my win streak, longest win streak in the league right now. But
I'm all for that, but not if it makes Tommy stronger.
And do you play Tommy soon?
I play him in the very last week.
It's not going to help. None of those guys will be on bye. We've kind of buried the lead, though, Joe. You've heard the news of the greatest calamity in the league thus far, or have you?
Have I heard of the greatest calamity in the league?
Deshaun Watson.
I figured you were talking about Deshaun Watson, and
out for the year.
It's not a calamity for me this week, though. It is disappointing to see a promising player go down like that. And I'm usually a fan of Machak being so, but for this week, this man's happy.
And it kills DeAndre Hopkins. Oh, we have a guest calling in.
Oh, another random guest. The heck?
Welcome, brothers and sisters, to the Fantasy Football Ministry. I'm Reverend Elroy, Brother Pad, and I think we should all join hands in prayer for DeAndre Hopkins.
DeAndre Hopkins.
And Deshaun Watson, who is such a promising young quarterback. And perhaps, just perhaps, he'll be able to come back from this injury this season.
What about
Beans has fought through so many hardships with their faith in the fantasy spirit.
The charlatan.
I believe they could even revive Colin Kaepernick's career if only they took him from the waiver wire. It would be a most excellent decision by a most faithful team.
What about my team? What the heck's going on there? I'm losing faith in these guys on Buffalo's. I feel like Joe.
Never lose faith.
Looking to this guy. Why? Has anyone given more to this league than me? And yet I'm being punished.
To whom much is given, much will be taken away. Many Odell Beckhams will be lost to the righteous. So you must not lose faith. This is the year where many players who are typically injured have remained healthy. Sammy Watkins, Keenan Allen, and Rob Gronkowski have finally earned their way into fantasy health. So I just want to encourage everyone not to be saddened by Tyrod Taylor. Don't run so much, young fella. The Spirit is with you, carrying you on wings to greater things.
I think you're just spouting nonsense, honestly.
Do you have any other prayers? What are your intentions for this week?
Oh, okay. Well, a win for me, and that Mike Tolbert refrains from scoring touchdowns, and that.
Do not pray against the team which you are playing against.
Okay, well, in that case, I want the Poops, I want Tokyo, and everyone in my division to lose.
An angry heart will only incur the wrath of the House of Pain's demons of hatred. But I wish everyone well.
All right, fine. I'll give you $100 if you pray for me.
My son, please call me after the game, and we will discuss in private these temptations of yours.
Yes,
but you remember to call me. Don't forget now. Don't forget.
Oh, well, we won't.
But not for the money.
What a charlatan.
Well, yeah. Thank you, Reverend. He's a good man.
He is a good man if you give him what he so desires.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson's terrible, which leads me to oh my God. Award
trackers. Moo's still obvious to me.
Well, I want to head off with the Lemonade Tycoon. I think we should just punch it in right now. The league office that Machak Beans gets it. They've won 4 games already, and they've lost both quarterbacks now their #1 pick, and let's not forget Allen Robinson. That's I don't know if anyone's had a year quite like that. Although you would be in that ballot.
If I could make it to avoid the toilet bowl, I think I should at the very least, be a nominee.
And the Ants, depending on if they can turn the ship around, though, things have sort of gone downhill.
The ship has sunk.
Well, especially after this trade, which, so we want to talk about trades in more detail in a second. What about the bargain shopper?
The bargain shopper. I think Kenyon Drake will put me over the edge. I really do. I see a lot of promise in this guy.
Yeah, it's still pretty wide open. I've made a lot of good decisions on defenses and kickers, and I think coaches, but I don't know if that's glamorous enough to get into the mix.
The audience knew we were just going to talk about our teams for the awards. So.
Well, there's nothing. Well, for bargain shopper, there's nothing to say. What about the Moo? Tommy's a game out of the Moo, and do you have to have the best record to get the Moo?
If anyone scores over 130 points, they're going to beat this toilet team.
Yeah, but no one's able to do it.
Yeah,
and he just made a huge jump with this trade for Antonio Brown, I think, because it is most valuable owner, not most valuable team, and Ben's done next to nothing with the house. He drafted a great, but we'll see. I guess we'll see if he can draft well enough to have the best record, and maybe that settles it.
Yeah,
I think you might be able to know who the runner-up or the next lead dog is for the zombie with the poops now. Maybe even ahead of the poops on that list.
Yeah, I'd say Matt. Matt's always in the running.
It's Matt's namesake.
Me.
I'd have Matt down towards the bottom behind the Danimals. The Animals just did it for a second time.
Yeah, that's true. The Danimals
in striking fashion, but it wasn't on Monday night. You kind of got to do it on Monday night. That's the only.
Yeah, you get more notoriety
in their resume. Yeah, but your dad's team was done, and he came back with Russell Wilson. So
he did come back.
Good credit. All right, I wanted. Are we missing an award? Golden Retriever. We may need to do away with that award.
Yeah, because I don't know.
The league's been going on for too long. Like Machuk and Beans had gotten it for Phillip all that time, but he's gone now. And I got it. You know what? I would if we go with it. I think I'd be in it because I have all sorts of ex-poops on my team. It's a whole team full of guys that I've owned. Outside of Cam Newton.
I think you named one of the candidates just because they have Cardinals and Steelers on their team.
Yeah.
Machuk and Beans.
Yeah, they're always up there.
And then they took David Johnson first overall over Le'Veon.
If Anthony were a Redskins fan, I would say he could get it. He has like 1 million Redskins on his team, but I'm not sure. Oh, Tyrod threw a touchdown.
Oh, wow.
He's probably already got more points than Cam's going to get. So that's great. Ooh, a little force celebration. I think you got it on there. You're about to see it on Joe's TV. I'm a little bit ahead.
Best view in the house.
Show them the force.
Or you could just watch it at your house. But, well,
man, oh man.
We weren't speaking of trades, but we should be because.
Well, the trade deadline's coming up.
And so I think we have just the guy.
Trade deadline. Yeah, I think let's analyze the teams that should be trading. Machuk and Beans, sort of the headline team of this podcast. They've got to. They're going to need a quarterback. Obviously, you can always try to get someone off the waiver wire, but the Ants just took Jimmy Garoppolo, so who won't be playing for a long time. So I'm not sure about that. Cowtown also needs a quarterback, so But in a
Excuse
shocking
me.
move, Anthony just
Excuse me.
Mr.
Excuse
President,
me. Hello.
you haven't called in so long.
You know, I've been pretty busy, I'd say. In fact, fantastically busy. We're doing great things here in the White House. I thought
The FBI is not going to get in contact with me, are they?
Well, we'll see about that. We'll talk about that after the show.
I'm not wearing a wire.
For now, we're going to talk about trades. I'm here.
Who do you think needs to? What do you think of this trade, Anson and Tokyo Toilet Super Fun Team?
It's absolutely terrible trade. Don't like it. Ants. Oh, they're good. The ants are going to be angry after this, even more bigly angry than they are now. I'm telling you, they're going to be so angry once they see Antonio Brown go off, T.Y. go off. Terrible trade.
I agree with you, Mr. President. Is there any way that it works in Anthony's favor? Michael Thomas, Keenan Allen, those are big names. DeMarco Murray.
Look. Nobody. I'm going to show everyone the art of the deal here. The trade deadline is in 3 weeks. I'm here to help. Let's ask questions about trades in general.
You're telling me what questions to ask? You could interview yourself, Mr. President.
Right,
who do you think
What do you think, Mr. President? What do you think is a great trade?
Listen.
Well,
okay.
I think a great trade involves high risk, high reward. Oh, I don't know where he's going. He just left. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Go away. Listen. Nobody.
Did you ask a question yet, or what? Can I ask you one?
Tell you what. Give me a trade proposal. Go ahead.
I want to give you a tough question here. What player would you be trying to trade for if you were in the FTFFL? Who's the prime target?
Oh, I tell you, Dom, Julio, I tell you, nobody makes trades like me.
Yeah, you said that. Who are you trying to trade for?
Let me tell you something. I came across a lady the other day. She came up to me and she said,
"Are you buying a stairway to heaven?"
He said, nobody makes trades like you, Donald. Nobody makes trades like you. You're the best. And I said, thank you. And it was great.
Mr. President, I don't know what to say. You know, your team, your franchise offered me a trade this weekend and then took it away. I'd like to know how many teams this happens to. You wake up, you get an email that says, we're offering you this.
You were hesitating. I talked to my son, Joe. You were hesitating. And so we revoked.
I saw it when I woke up and it was already gone.
The trade proposal, you're not welcome anymore. Shouldn't have hesitated.
I was sort of interested in it. It was Carlos Hyde was involved.
I don't think we have to discuss it.
All right, fair enough.
But
how do you go about? Do you like to trade for star power, or do you want to trade for depth?
I'll give you a trade. How about this? All right, Vernon Davis for Cam Newton.
No, I don't need to think about that one.
Okay, well, you know what?
Your team has a lot of quarterbacks already.
What I'm asking from you for Vernon Davis just got a lot higher.
All right. What do you want?
Now I want Ingram, I want Newton, and I want Doug Martin.
Ingram, Newton, and Martin. If I decline, is the price going to go higher, or can you take it down a bit?
Yes.
All right. I'm not going to say no then. I'm going to say pending. I'm going to say maybe.
There we go. See, I told you, folks. Look, I
Can
told you
Mexico
nobody
pay
makes
for
a
it?
deal.
We could see about that. We could see about that. Currently, they're building my wall. It's a beautiful wall, kind of like my trades. My trades are beautiful. My walls are beautiful. My wife is beautiful. But I tell you what, we are going to make trades fun again. We are going to make trades safe again. And we are going to make
Were trades not safe?
Again. Trades are not safe. Not what happened to Anthony out there. I tell you, Tommy deserves the death penalty over that one.
I agree. Is there any way we can get that done?
Well, we could send him to Guantanamo, but that would just take too long, and it would take too long. And I think
so. Just
federally,
execute him.
Just kill him.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. I agree. I'm surprised for the first time, I think, in podcast history. I agree with everything you've said. 100%.
Well, I'm a pretty agreeable guy. I'm pretty agreeable. That is, people agree with me.
Get back
people
to you
agree
on
with
that
me,
trade.
not the other way around. Because
people
agree with me because I make the best trades ever.
Kind of rambling on, Mr. Trump, Mr. President. Do you have any other questions to ask yourself, or else we're going to let you go?
I have one more question. So the other day, I was talking to this man, and this man said, "Donald, you're a great man. You're a great man, Donald." And I said, "Thank you."
Well, it was great to hear from you, Mr. President. I'll talk to you soon. Hugs and kisses. Give my best
to great. It was so great.
Barron.
So great.
Thank you. Well, that was the president. With the art of the trade.
This time?
We didn't get much. We didn't get much on the art of the trade.
I was hoping
let's look at trades as we look through the game here. Let's see what the games are looking like, and we'll advise any trades as necessary. Oh boy, Heliopolis. Something strange is happening here.
2, 5, and 3 teams looking at.
Oh, Tommy's stupid guy just caught a touchdown.
Oh, so it's Arian Jenkins. He's an Armenian. That man, Armenian.
I didn't know Jenkins was Armenian.
Well, Safarian.
Yeah.
Silly.
Oh, there's a flag.
Machaca Beans.
Oh, pass interference on the offense. Too bad, Mr. Armenian Jenkins. You're out. Let's look at this game while Tommy's guy
push the defender out of the way.
Yeah, you can't do that unless you're Amari Cooper. Let's see. Oh, Tyrod's already got 10 points. I'm sorry, man. I think Tommy's going to win this one. I don't even want to talk about it because it's distressing.
He's projected 70 because he's a trade.
Yeah, he just got a whole bundle of guys from the Ants. Let's move on. We've discussed that. We've discussed these teams too much. We'll come back. Let's look at the House of Pain, Joe. Are you concerned with the House of Pain if you're Ben? Are you thinking, yeah-oh?
I'm, Blake Bortles. Sure. I mean, Cincinnati.
Well, the Slam Jocks just got dealt a horrible blow with everything's going Tommy's way. Ezekiel Elliott's out, and he's got Alfred Morris.
I think McFadden will take over, though.
Eventually, but apparently not this week.
But Bortles will struggle against Cincy, so.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think he's definitely going to win this week.
I think I'm going with the Slam Jocks.
Really?
I'm gonna. Yeah, something's telling me. I think they get 2 in a row. Except they just lost points. That's not a good sign.
Yeah, that doesn't help. Oh, it's the Bucks coach, the Bills coach. I think the Bills might get this one. Yeah, you know what makes me concerned? I don't know if anyone will be able to see this. Kareem Hunt's point totals have just steadily dropped and dropped and dropped and dropped and dropped throughout the year.
It's 0 in week 10.
All the way down to 14 points last week. So I'd say there's a little bit of cause for concern. What he needs is the opposite to happen with Mike Evans. Mike Evans can jump up. He'll be number one. Here's my sort of game of the week, especially now that I think Tommy's going to get me. Circle City, Puget Pounders. Game of the week.
I think Tom is going to make a little run here for that last playoff spot. Well, he could get a freaking second seed actually in that conference. Think about it.
Yep. Yeah, both of them are well into it here.
What? I think Grant is 5-3. He's a top team. So.
Yes.
Yeah, Tom's only 2 games behind. Matt's only 1.
Tom's got 2 of his arguably best players on a bye, though, so that's not going to help.
I like Tevin Coleman though as a.
Oh yeah, well this is where it helps that I still think the Commissioners are the deepest team in the league, so that helps them out here. I don't know why you wouldn't go with a gamble with Devontae Parker and OJ Howard. Those guys can go off. Instead, he's got Tyler Higbee and Marlon Mack.
Marlon, yeah, I don't get the Marlon Mack.
I'm always very confident with other people's rosters, and then with my own, I'm a basket case. Check out Final Flush, by the way, if you're like me. The Animals, Angry Ants. I don't know who's even left on the Ants team. Jonnu Smith and Jamison Crowder.
Well, he's got DeMarco now.
Yeah, that's true. DeMarco, Keenan Allen, and
Wallace.
I mean, you gotta always be a little reticent to trade away the top player in the league.
Yeah,
though.
I say
no way that helps. Yeah, I think the Danimals have luck on their side.
Yeah, they're lucky this year.
Here's the rivalry game, the grudge match.
In the end, it's about luck. So.
McCown's exceeding expectations, and McCoy is woefully under expectations so far. But can never judge things too early.
I'm going with the Rebels if they go against their word and keep their starting lineup, which they did already.
Le'Veon and Gronkowski are both out, so this would be a huge win for the Lulu Birds if they can pull it off. But I think the smart money
That's
is
probably why
them.
they posted that. It's because they're desperate for a win.
Yeah. Hey, try anything.
Yeah. Not everything. You don't want to put your hand on a hot iron. You don't want to try that.
And don't try betting people that you'll bench your players when you're going to be leading a division either. Neither of those are good. Advisable. And it looks like Moscow's going to win. What's going on with – oh, my gosh. Heliopolis is by. It's a good thing I beat the Magas last week, or else they would be off to a huge lead. It seems difficult for – I don't know how – who can they even play? They're going to need to do some last-second waiver – or no, get Russell Shepard in there and then somebody else. It's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough. That's how the Tigers like it, though.
All right, Joe, we skipped the Magas and the Buffaloes. Mike Tolbert's not helping things. Oh, you're projecting for a game.
You know why I'm actually gonna vote for me this week is because M and B have every game at 1:00 except for their defense. That always spells trouble for teams.
You know what else spells trouble is when the best player on your team and in the league is out for the year. Oh man.
Yeah, and you got
it's not even funny. It's
3 starting running backs on the bye. Yeah. Yeah,
I always feel bad for them. They always get screwed somehow. I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, it's almost impossible that they do this every year because they have a draft that everyone says is bad, so their team should be bad. Then their team does well despite that. Then they have everyone on their team get injured, and then they still do okay, but they made the playoffs one year, but they're always sort of on the edge of the playoffs. You would think if you had a quote-unquote bad draft and then your whole team got injured, you would be going to the toilet bowl every year, but that's not the case.
Yeah.
So yeah, Machaka and Beans, gotta tip my hat to him. And yeah, Joe, this game puts you right in the scuffle. I think if you lost this game, that would be about it. So it's a big game.
Oh yeah. Well, I think that's about
somehow,
it. Somehow, I told you I'm going to be the best toilet bowl team ever.
I don't even think it's all it for the Slam Jocks. They're only 3 games out.
Yeah, there's still time, definitely.
Because look, Machaka and Beans is ahead of you. You're only 2 games out behind Machaka and Beans, and 3 games behind the playoffs. And
I don't have
like
the luck
6
factor
games
this
left.
year, though. I don't got that luck factor.
I think you could be all right. You could trade one of these QBs, I think. You should actually make a game week trade with the team that you're playing. Or with Cowtown.
I say we do a live trade right now.
For whom the bell tolls, my mom posted, she said, really? Oh yeah, Le'Veon's on the market. We can broadcast that.
Le'Veon's on the market, everyone.
I'm in talks with the Lulu Birds, but we were actually in talks a couple weeks ago, and we came to a verbal agreement for Le'Veon, and then the trade fell out. So we'll see. Get your offers in. I don't know if anyone can get. Joe, make an argument for why Anthony made the trade.
I actually, now that I'm looking at it,
yeah, I think maybe I overreacted because I'm playing Tommy.
I forgot about Michael Thomas. I still think Tommy got the better trade in terms of.
He arguably got 2 better receivers and a quarterback thrown in for free.
Yeah, Rob Kelly's pretty bad now.
And Rob Kelly might be, my opinion of, I have a weird feeling that DeMarco's going to get hurt. Obviously, that hasn't happened, but if it were to happen, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's Tommy dropped Jay Cutler. What an insult to Jay.
Oh, he tried to trade him, and then he cut him.
Jay Cutler? Wow.
Yeah, you wanted Jay Cutler.
I think this was
for
the first time. I just imagine Tommy sitting at his opening up his computer, and he made one of those crazy offers to someone, to Anthony, and then he showed up and checked his email and saw trade accepted, and he was probably like, "What? Trade accepted?" Out of his 40 that he sends people every week.
Yeah, it's kind of like sending
Christmas morning.
I think with Tommy, it's like sending a resume for a job. He just sends 100 a day and hopes that someone finally is like, "You're hired."
He was in the middle of sending another trade offer. He was like, "Okay, I'll give you Jay Cutler and Terrence West for Antonio Brown." And he accepted that other one.
Jay Cutler. Yeah, I didn't even respond to Tommy's last offer. He thinks everyone's stupid. But on that note, I guess.
Joe, what do you think? Blood Bowl prediction. Let's start that tradition now as we near the playoffs.
I say, you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb and say the Commissioners, and that's the end of my limb, because then I'm going with Hop for the other conference.
I'm going to stick with one I said a while ago, and I'm not change in case it's right, since I'm staking nothing on it, and say Poops Birds I think the Poops are in the mix in our division, and the Birds, Le'Veon and Gronk. Le'Veon and Gronk are all you need. Two ugly mugs, two hearts of love, two muddled minds, two coffee cups.
Bye. See you next week. Hopefully you watch this. Bye. So great. So great. Great episode. I was so great. Great, great, great.